Tuesday night is upon us, and you know what that means. I am SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning in to this brand new episode of Round 2 Wrestling here on the 23rd of August, 2022. For those of you who have never tuned in to my podcast, Round 2 Wrestling is sort of like a news podcast, but only covers things about the world of professional wrestling. We have rumors to talk about in the world of professional wrestling, actual factual news, and those results from all those title matches across many promotions across the world. Plus, at the end of this podcast, we have a fan favorite. Did you know? Are little bits of information and facts about the pro wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. But that is at the end of this podcast. We are going to kick things off on Round 2 Wrestling like we always do by taking a listen to the rumor mill. Fightful reports Triple H's plans to stay aggressive with talent acquisitions, and he wants to add depth to the WWE roster now that he is in control of creative. And we have already seen Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, move WWE in that direction. PW Torch VIP audio show Wade Keller confirmed Bray Wyatt is back in WWE and will be debuting soon. Fightful reported a lot of talk of big changes to NXT with NXT UK talent coming in. We sort of touched on this last week when the news broke that NXT UK had just released a plethora of wrestlers from their roster, 14 to be exact. And we here at Round 2 Wrestling had a sneaking suspicion that the NXT US brand and the NXT UK brand were going to merge into some big conglomerate. And it looks like it seems to be moving in that direction. But like we like to say here on Round 2 Wrestling, only time will tell. Diamond Dallas Page has claimed on his podcast he was approached about doing a last match similar to Ric Flair's, but refused the offer. Sources say that Johnny Gargano is open for a WWE return, now with Triple H in charge of creative. Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio there are plans for AEW wrestlers to appear at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view at the Tokyo Dome next January. Per Fightful Select, Impact wrestler Deonna Purrazzo is currently in talks with the promotion, and that is Impact, believing her contract has an option for 2023. This is just a rumor, so we don't know if this is actually true. However, if Deonna Purrazzo's contract is up in the air and there is an option to extend it in 2023, I don't see any reason why Impact Wrestling would not honor this. Wrestling Observer Radio's Brian Alvarez said the NXT event scheduled for September 4th, Worlds Collide, will be an NXT versus NXT UK event. This would be a proper way to merge both the US and United Kingdom NXT brands into one major brand. But this could also be a sort of civil war of sorts in the NXT brand. Stay tuned for yourselves to find out what happens. PW Insider says WWE has lifted the embargo on staff buying/selling WWE stock and are free to do so going forward. Plenty to think about for the next week as we are finished with the rumors in the world of professional wrestling. Let's jump over to something a bit more factual. This is the news going on in the world of professional wrestling. WWE and Peacock have released episodes of the classic WWF program, WWF Superstars, for your viewing pleasure. Fightful reports Impact Tag Team The Good Brothers Their contract has expired and will work with Impact through August 27th. That ends this week. Will Impact reach out to the Good Brothers and re-sign them to a contract, or are the Good Brothers going to be exclusive to New Japan Pro Wrestling? Something to ponder about for the next week. According to PW Insider, Impact wrestler Tenille Dashwood's contract has expired and has been released from Impact Wrestling. NJPW has announced that fans will be allowed at, I'm gonna slaughter this, Korakuen Hall in Japan for the first time since the pandemic in February 2020. NWA President Billy Corgan spoke with Ariel Helwani recently and revealed Paul Heyman tried to sell 10% of ECW to Corgan in its dying days for a grand total of $1 million. Corgan, of course, turned down this offer, and WWE would buy ECW shortly after. WWE wrestler Edge teases the idea of retiring again. This time, his final match would be in Toronto, his hometown, and this would take place sometime next year in 2023. WWE sees two former roster members return to the fold. Beth Phoenix and Johnny Gargano appear on Monday Night Raw last night, with Hall of Famer Kurt Angle also appearing on Raw next week. For those of you who are saying that WWE is down on itself and on its heels, Triple H has delivered several hard-punching swings to the world of professional wrestling, saying, hell no, WWE isn't going anywhere, especially with me being brought on creative. And re-signing Beth Phoenix and Johnny Gargano are huge steps in that direction. Former WWF wrestler and DX member Road Dogg Brian James has joined WWE in an executive position. Road Dogg is now the Senior Vice President of Live Events. WWE Women's Tag Team Toxic Attraction has been removed from the WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament due to medical issues. More specifically, they are under the concussion protocol. No more news to talk about here on Round 2 Wrestling, so we will jump over to the results portion of Round 2 Wrestling. This is where I give you the results of every title match that took place in the past week, whether it be on AEW, Ring of Honor, NXT, Impact, New Japan, AAA, doesn't matter. If there was a title on the line, I found out who fought, who won, and am going to give you those results right here, right now. NXT North American Champion Carmelo Hayes defeated Giovanni Vinci to retain the NXT North American Championship. NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose defeated Zoe Stark to retain the NXT Women's Championship. NXT Champion Bron Breakker defeated J.D. McDonough to retain the NXT Championship. AEW Tag Team Champions Swerve and Our Glory defeated Private Party to retain the tag team titles. FTW Champion Hook defeated Zach Clayton to retain the FTW Championship. Impact X Division Champion Mike Bailey defeated Chris Bay to retain the X Division Championship. Okada defeated Will Ospreay in the finals of the G1 Climax 32 tournament in New Japan Pro Wrestling. CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, I'm gonna slaughter this name, Heshishiro defeated Euphoria to retain the CMLL Heavyweight Championship. Once again, I apologize for slaughtering the name of the World Heavyweight Champion of CMLL. All right, that was it. No more results to go over. There were not a lot of titles on the line, but that comes and goes over the weeks. Some weeks we have a lot of titles on the line. Others are very short, just like this. Either way, it's a bonus for you because we have a huge Did You Know section to go over here on Round 2 Wrestling. Did you know our little bits of information and facts about the world of professional wrestling that you may or may not have known about? Did you know Bret Hart did in fact fight Andre the Giant one-on-one once in Milano, Italy in 1989? Did you know Kurt Hennig, aka Mr. Perfect's final match was a victory over David Flair in NWA TNA in 2003? Did you know Undertaker's last over-the-top rope dive came at WrestleMania 27 against Triple H? Did you know WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge in 1992 was the first video game to feature a cage match? Did you know The Rock was the last wrestler to hold WWE's iconic Spinner World title? Did you know Ric Flair has never won a singles match at WrestleMania? Did you know former WCW wrestler Goldberg's first loss was to Chad Fortune in 1997 in a dark match on WCW? Did you know at 20 years old, WWE wrestler Finn Balor started his own wrestling school/promotion called NWA Ireland? Did you know Hulk Hogan's final match took place in England in 2012 for TNA/Impact Wrestling? Did you know the Nasty Boys and the Legion of Doom had a match on the Arsenio Hall show back in 1991? Did you know the first 3 winners of the Women's Royal Rumble in alphabetical order are Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair, or A, B, C? Did you know an estimated 3 million WWF action figures were sold in 1986? More than half of those action figures were of the wrestler Hulk Hogan. Did you know Hulk Hogan was paid $11,000 for his Rocky III appearance? Did you know Lou Thez and Bill Goldberg are the only wrestlers to capture a world title in 4 different decades? Did you know Bam Bam Bigelow's first career pinfall loss happened in Japan in 1987 at the hands of the great Antonio Inoki? All right, that is it. That is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. I am SlimmDa KID, and I personally want to thank you for taking the time to tune in to this podcast. I also want to reach out and thank Ultimate Championship Wrestling in Saginaw, Michigan. This promotion has given me an into the professional wrestling world and has allowed me to step back into the squared circle as a referee. We have live shows that you can view for free on YouTube. Simply type in Ultimate Championship Wrestling Star Slam, and you for yourself can catch up on all the Star Slam action, our weekly show, for free on YouTube. Also, if you are in the Bay Area or Saginaw area, be sure to check out a live UCW show held once monthly at the UCW Arena located on Michigan Avenue in Saginaw, Michigan. Once again, I am SlimmDa KID, and I want to thank you for tuning in to this Round 2 Wrestling podcast. Please tune in next Tuesday as I bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.